All right, welcome everybody to this evening's Conservation Commission. If all that wish to do so, please rise to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, roll call. Tom Carlton and Brian Averbach are not here tonight. Joseph Lavallee. Here. Wilson Carrera.
Here.
And Bernardo is here, and Nicholas Rudolph is here. For the record, Amelia Fisquet is no longer a member of the Revere Conservation Commissions for some clerical reasons. I'll leave it at that, but we'll be working on replacing her shortly. First up is just review and approval of the meeting minutes. Any changes, additions, corrections to the minutes from last time? No?
Make a motion, we accept the minutes?
Second?
Aye.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. All right. First up, we have Mills Ave and Belle Isle Marsh. This is two locations, and this is a request for determination of applicability. This is for an installation of flood monitoring alert systems, and the applicant is the City of Revere. Is it? Yeah, I heard the door squeaking.
Always good to check. Do you put that in? Well. I used to keep mine all the time, but they keep getting broke. Oh, okay. After we lost the third one, I had to start hiding them.
All right, excellent, there we go. So if you wouldn't mind stating your name for the record.
Hi, Kristen Holmeyer, Resilience Manager, City of Revere.
And Justine Rooney, Coastal Scientist, Woods Hole Group.
We are here to talk about a really exciting project that has been a year in the making. Last year, the City of Revere received a CZM, or Coastal Zone Management Coastal Resilience Grant, and we looked at short-term strategies and long-term solutions sorry, I can't speak right now. Short-term strategies and long-term solutions to address all the flooding that happens in the Beachmont neighborhood, specifically Pearl Ave, Crystal Ave, and Summer Street. And what we heard from residents during that engagement process last year is that everyone was asking like what they can do to help them move their car before either a sunny day high tide flooding event, or if there's an extreme precipitation event and there also happens to be a high tide. We heard so much from residents about how their cars kept on getting flooded. So for a phase 2 of this project, we wanted to look at what can we do to help residents move their car. And so we came up with this project to put in early flood warning sensor systems to help residents move their car before a flooding event happens. And we ended up applying to 2 different grant programs for it. And we got 2 different grants to fund this project. And so we decided to expand it to Rumney Marsh as well, because we know that there's a lot of flooding in the Oak Island, Riverside, and Point of Pines neighborhood. And so our current project is supported through the MAPC, or Metropolitan Area Planning Council's Accelerating Climate Resilience Grant, and the CZM FY26 Coastal Resilience Grant. And we just want to develop a flood alert system for the neighborhoods abutting Belle Isle Marsh and Rumney Marsh. And we are hoping that this tool can respond to like different flooding events and help residents be more prepared and move their cars accordingly. We also, through this project, are hoping to look at utility elevation assistance program, because we also heard from residents that flood insurance may cover the cost of replacing different utilities, but doesn't help with the cost of raising the utilities. And we're also hoping on spreading more flood risk awareness programs for residents in Revere. With that, I'm going to pass it over to Justine to talk more about this program.
Yeah. So when we look at these areas, we have been studying both the project in Beechmont was this past year, but we also have been, through the help of L. Baker and Sprar in the neighboring communities, also been looking at the Rumney Marsh system. And when we think about these two areas, I think it's important to note that people commonly think about flooding most when there's going to be a big storm. But both of these residential areas are also experiencing flooding, what we call sunny day flooding events. So these are flooding events when you might not typically expect flooding because it's going to be a storm, but it has to do with the lunar cycle and high tides. Tomorrow, as an example, Kristen will be going to Mills Ave to a low spot to look to see if there is roadway flooding because the tide is high enough where the water might touch the roadway. The winds are going against, so it might be okay, but that's how frequent this is. And so a lot of these residents along both areas have been clamoring for help. Commonly, we think help is a structure that's going to keep water away, but this is more of an approach of how can we live with the water and live with the changing tides. So one of the approaches we're going to take are these Hohonu ultrasonic sensors. They are small, non-intrusive, don't make any noise, don't put off any light, and they are going to look at the distance between the sensor and the water surface using radar. These sensors are mounted above the water. They do not fill, remove, dredge, or otherwise alter any portion of any resource under the Wetlands Protection Act. And this is an example of a mounting on a bridge that will be relevant in a minute. So we're here to seek for an RDA to document the minor activity with no significant impact to the wetland resources. They're minimal in nature and they're non-invasive, and they're really just looking to monitor. This shows the size. So you can see they're about 36 centimeters in height. So they're quite small. They're small by design. We don't want anyone to tamper with them or notice them. So really, they're supposed to be kind of hidden and work with the infrastructure that's already in place. When we look at the Belle-Isle Marsh system, you can see, the blue is not showing up very well, but you can see this little blue triangle over on the Bennington Street Bridge. That is one of the locations, and then another location is over on Pearl Ave, where it will be mounted to an existing utility pole. Over in the Rumney Marsh system, we will be putting a tide gauge on an existing structure that kind of juts out along Mills Ave, and then the other one will go to the utility pole, either the utility pole right next to Gibson Park, or the street to the left of that is actually the spot where Kristen's going to go out tomorrow. That it seems like water actually touches there potentially first. So between those two locations, but again, all of the sensors are designed not to get wet, and so they are not going in any of the resource areas, and none of the mounting will impact the resource areas as well. One set of the sensors, like I talked about, would be mounted to utility poles. Those are overland sensors. Those look at the distance between the sensor and the roadway. We're looking to see if there's water on the roadway. So they look to go in the lowest spot in that section. And we're hoping to also put signs, develop signage with QR codes for residents to be able to scan if they do notice them. First of all, saying please don't tamper with them. These are important to us. But also, if residents want to learn more about why these sensors are here, that would take them directly to a landing page to be able to understand more about the project and how to sign up for the flood warning alerts. The tide gauge sensors are going to be mounted, like I said, on the Bennington Street Bridge. I know all of us were there the other day. And then that bulkhead structure, which is owned by the city of Revere along Mills Ave. When we look at this data, I just wanted to highlight, because we talked about this on Saturday, there's two different types, the water levels on the left you can kind of see that it shows you the crests and troughs of the different tides, high and low. And then the water depth, you can see on that picture on the right-hand side, that is an incidence where there was water on that roadway. So this sensor is up in Salem. You can kind of see it on the left-hand picture. There's that faint orange line. I'm gonna show you a more zoomed-in version. That faint orange line is what we're looking to develop as a part of this project. That would be a threshold. And you can see Salem Harbor is, anyone who has already signed up for their text alerts is getting a text this week saying there's high tide predicted in the next coming days. And this would enable residents to make informed decisions about when the high tide events are likely to be and then when they should ideally remove their cars from the roadways. Or think about if they're also getting water through the subfloor of their basement, you know, oh, I put those buckets on the floor after Christmas of all the decorations, like I need to get down there and move those. So the goal of this is really to enable residents to sign up for text alerts with a platform that's already existing. There are sensors all over the city. Nick had asked kind of about cost and how this will be designed in perpetuity. So the sensors are covered by all 4 sensors are covered by the grant this cycle. And then the planning department has committed to fund the sensors in perpetuity. We'll only have to fund the 2 overland sensors, the 2 that are mounted on the utility poles. Those ones will be funded, so it's about $5,000 per sensor per year, and that's really not for the equipment itself, it's more for the data platform. That data will all be stored on the Hohonu website, but it is owned by the city of Revere, and it can be open source as well, so other neighboring regional communities can use it as well. I know Nick had mentioned, you know, could this inform other sections of Revere, or could Lynn use it, Winthrop, the residents over along Morton Street, we would hope that they'd also benefit from this as well. So the goal is really to just have more data, more information. Our meteorologist has already been plugging away, and I think it was something like over the past 10 years, Mills Ave has experienced 400. If the data matches what we're then gonna find with these censuses, it's flooded 400 times in 10 years, which is considerable. So it's great for us to be able to have hard data to also show grant bodies that, you know, the city has been doing a great job of capturing a lot of state grant dollars, but continuing to be able to show evidence of why we need more is important as well. So that was a quick overview. We're trying to go quickly, but I can come back and answer any questions you have.
In the beginning, hi. That was very interesting, and so was the on-site view that we
Yeah.
did, and I applaud the effort, and we can always use more data. When you first started your presentation, did you mention an Oak Island site? Because I didn't see anything.
No, we're not putting it on Oak Island, but we do feel like there would be a co-benefit to the Oak Island residents, because anytime there's suspected to be flooding along Mills Ave, the Oak Island residents are expected to flood as well. So part of our outreach would be targeted at the Oak Island residents. The Mills Ave just provides us a easier sensor location where we're not disturbing anything.
Those back streets on Oak Island certainly get inundated for sure, being that it's close proximity to the marsh as they are. But yeah, to echo what Joe said, I would definitely agree that having more data is a good thing, especially in this situation. I didn't realize it was that many events over the past 10 years.
Yeah, and
for
don't
that
quote
area.
me. I will come back with a report, but I will also add that one of the things we're gonna design as a part of this project is a newsletter that people could sign up for that will be run through the North Suffolk Office of Resilience that would put out, I think we're determining the rate, but likely monthly, like, hey, there's likely to be a high tide event on the 18th. Like, think ahead, like, make sure you signed up for the Hohonu alerts. So we would be able to target residents of Oak Island and others to send out mailings or postcards. We've been doing postcards a lot for our public outreach, sending it to residential addresses. And we're finding that that's really helpful in terms of getting people engaged who might not already know what's going on.
Depending on the catchphrase that you put on the front of the postcard, you know, hey, do you want your stuff to be? No. Anyways, no, I think it's a really great idea, and I think because of the minimal amount of impact that this project will have, I would call for a motion for a negative.
It seems like Melissa had a
Oh,
question.
so
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, no, quick question. I saw a solar panel, and I'm sure that's how it's powered off. Are there any like lithium batteries, or how is it keeping the power during night, and when it's not too sunny, how is it keeping the energy?
That's a great question. It is solar powered. I don't 100% know the specifics. I think it must be a pretty good charge, but it's working in the Boston area because I don't know how many sensors there already are, but we will be also checking up on these sensors frequently. Do you know the answer?
Yeah, I actually
Oh,
do, because
I apologize.
Boston has 10 sensors currently, and there's also, Justine can talk more about this, but there's so many other communities in Boston, or in Massachusetts that are using it, like Yarmouth, Duxbury, Salem. I don't know if you want to add any more, but like,
Yeah. I think it's a pretty good charge. They've been doing this for quite a few years now, but I don't think it's the type of thing where it powered down. And honestly, if the company wasn't able to connect with the sensor, we would probably come out right away.
Okay, no, that's fine. And then I just concerned because lithium and being so close to the water, that's kind of why I come up with the question. And
Yeah.
I'm just kind of curious, how is the data upstream from the sensor? How is it cellular, or how is it? I'm just kind of curious how the technology works. How is it upload? What kind of technology is used?
I think it is, I know you asked about this the other day, and I didn't check on, I think it potentially is cellular. I'm sure their website, the Hohona website, would tell you more. I included a link.
Just kind of curious. No, it doesn't impact anything, but I'm just kind of curious how
No.
it's uploaded.
Most of those sensors usually will work off either 5G or LTE signals. And then because of the proximity and because they're outside, it's probably a lead acid because it can hold a more robust charge. Lithium would be make the unit a lot more expensive, although it's not something they wouldn't do.
I do know that you asked about how quickly it would take to upload. The minute they're installed, they start transmitting data to the cloud. So it's instantaneous. So there's no lag, and again, it's all publicly available.
That's good for the public to know, because I'm sure people will be curious, okay, I didn't get the alert, or somebody will complain, and it's good to have that data that it is uploaded live pretty much.
And we do feel like part of the public education campaign for this is gonna be telling residents, this is just one tool in your toolbox. So if it texts you and says there's gonna be water, and then there doesn't end up being water, don't not trust it. It's just another tool to help, and we're hoping that it can, one of our stakeholders has been the fire department, so we're hoping to engage with them as well to see how they could use it as a tool.
I mean, just as we get ready for snow, and it doesn't happen, just as we experienced today.
And there will be incidents when there's snow, for example, that will show on the roadway, but they clean that data to be able to understand.
Yeah. Any other questions? No?
I just wanted to add that we're also like, when we get more data, we're gonna make a whole like web page toolkit where people can do it, and we'll have more information about all this too. So we can check back with some of the questions that you have right now too.
Good.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. No, it's not a question, but yeah, it's definitely a great project for the city, and it's going to be a great tool for the residents.
We're really excited, thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Any other questions? All right. I think it's a great project. I want to thank our conservation agent for L. Baker for leading the charge with you guys and getting this done. And I think the residents of Mills Ave will definitely be very appreciative for a heads up, considering the amount of events that they've had. But I'd like to call for a negative determination of applicability for this. So I'd like to call for a motion for a negative determination on this.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you so much. I wish you the best of luck and look forward to seeing all the data.
Yeah, we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop.
Excellent. Thank you. Next up is 26 Furlong Drive. This is a certificate of compliance for an emergency permit for cleanup work over on, at the gas company or shipping company on Furlong Drive. If you wouldn't mind stating your name for the record.
Yes, Karen Johnson, Edge Environmental. We did the site remediation at 26 Furlong Drive. It's Brewer Petroleum does fuel hauling. They also allow other fuel haulers to park their vehicles there. And when one of them was parking, there was an accident where the tank was punctured and lost gasoline to the parking lot. And that's what caused the incident and the cleanup.
So from the reports, from the communications back and forth with DEP, you've certainly done your due diligence. And after my third site walk of that area, I did notice that it was very well done. It's been resurfaced. The testing that came back, all the borings, especially adjacent to the water or the ditch that's behind the property, all came back clean. And, you know, thank God for the clay that was underneath the ground that contained it. So it made your remediation much, much smoother. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for Karen? No? Okay. Seeing as how that you have all your ducks in a row, and I just want to go on record in saying that your cohort was extremely professional in this entire situation, as have you been, and I thank you for that, because these situations can be very difficult.
Yes.
But at this time, I would definitely like to call for a motion to close this out for them to issue a certificate of compliance. So motion to approve the certificate of compliance for this.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
And second,
I second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
We'll be following up, and we'll have to close out the paperwork, and we'll be in touch, but thank you.
Issue the certificate, then I will record it at the registry and return your copy.
Appreciate that.
Okay?
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Have a good evening. Next up is 9 Dunn Road. This is a certificate of compliance for a resident that had a notice of intent back in, I believe it was 2007. It had expired. They did not complete the work. The work that they did do when we were on the site visit was to confirm what they did was in accordance with their order of conditions. And aside from closing off the flow-through foundation with some plywood, it was as it should be. I did a follow-up site visit yesterday at 4:30, and all of that rain that we got, and they did indeed remove all of the plywood on that foundation. So the foundation is completely flow through. They didn't even put the lattice, the white lattice that they had, they didn't even put that back. So as far as I'm concerned, seeing as how that their structure is up on pilings as it should have been, they did not complete all of the addition, but it is to code. It's sealed up. The site is stabilized. There's no evidence of construction. And I'd like to just get this off their plate so that they can sell their home. Do you guys have any questions for me about anything that I observed or? Okay. So I would like to call for a motion to approve this certificate of compliance for 9 Dunn Road.
Yeah, motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you very much. Those must be too close. What's going on over there? Okay, last but certainly not least, we have 76 Endicott Ave. This is a continued business for notice of intent, DEP file number 0610852. If you guys wouldn't mind coming up.
Good evening.
How you doing? If you wouldn't mind stating your name.
Daniel Quintero, and I'm representing my mom, Nelly Abrego, who's the owner of the home.
Excellent, thank you very much. And you are?
My name is Elkin Villegas, is constructor.
Okay. So I'm a little perplexed about what to do next. And the reason being is on the site walk, we had, I mean, the spread out construction rubble, you know, we told you guys not to do anything until we kind of got this sorted out, and I can appreciate that. I know you'll remove it. The bigger concern I have is that when you dug the hole out, took the stones out, that there was construction rubble under there, not 18 inches of crushed stone. Now, to make up enough of a French drain to probably compensate for that, or whatever, the fact still remains that there's construction rubble in there that's gonna seep into the ground. There was brick, oblong stones, concrete, I saw some asphalt in there. I don't want that leaching into the ground, and truthfully, I'd like it taken out and made right. I want you guys to have a French drain back there. I want you to have a place for the water to go. I want you to make sure that what you're doing back there is gonna help your neighbors, you know, and then also being able to put that French drain in the back. I don't know if you guys have updated plans from, last we were there?
Yeah, so we do have a PDF version.
Okay.
And it has, I guess I had a question. I know you requested a French drain in the back. Would a trench with the 3/4 inch wash stone suffice, or do you want the full French drain?
No, I'd want to see a full French drain
Okay.
back there, because if you remember, the retaining wall that was back there was
Yes.
stopping a lot of your water getting into your neighbor's backyard.
Correct.
You know, you kind of took out that situation from happening now, and the way that, because of how much lower lying they are, it's only natural for the water to just go onto their property, and we want to make sure that we not have that happen.
Okay.
Especially when we have tidal events and raising water tables because of all the rainfall. So
Okay.
we want to make sure that that gets stopped, and truthfully, it'll definitely smooth over relations, for sure.
Not a problem.
And I know you guys are willing to do that.
Yes.
But I definitely want to make sure that we have updated plans, that, that all gets taken out. And what I'm going to recommend right now is that, we impose a special condition so you guys can get to work
Okay.
and actually start ripping it out. But yes, one of the things that I want to make sure that we do is, once you get it all ripped out, have another site walk down.
Yep.
Make sure it's all cleaned out.
Yep.
All of the fill that got spread out, all the stuff that's underneath the blocks, all removed. I want to make sure it's all gone.
Okay.
Once that's done,
Yep.
then I want to make sure that we have clean fill. I want to have certifications on file for all the fill that you put in. The dirt, the washed, crushed stone, all of it. That part we need to do. The fact that we're starting off on kind of the wrong foot doesn't really give me the best impression. I know you're trying to do what you need to do to save money and get the project done, but I need to make sure that we're doing the right thing too.
Completely understandable, and we'll take it that phase, so.
I would appreciate that. And as far as other commissioners' feelings on this, I'd like to get your input. If issuing an order of conditions with some special conditions, that we would be returning to confirm some of this work, and that we get certificates of clean fill that's getting put in there. I'd like to know the temperature over there about approving this notice of intent with those stipulations attached.
Based on the visit, I think your recommendations are well-founded, and yeah, I think it's a good way to make sure that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And it also gives them the ability to really start work, really getting things done, cleaning it out, and being able to actually see this come to fruition and be celebrating on it in the spring. I really want that for you. And I don't want to hold it up, because you can definitely get a lot of excavating done before the ground freezes. You can probably get those stones laid back out too.
Yeah.
French drains dug, fence put up like you want. So I would definitely impose a condition that we would be following up before any work. You know, we usually do a pre-construction site walk down before anything happens, so we're gonna do this a little bit differently. So we're gonna have kind of a post and pre
Yep.
construction meeting for this. And then also, we just wanna make sure we're gonna add in certificates for your clean fill.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sure. If you wouldn't mind getting up, and I just want to make sure it gets on the record. Thank you, Will.
Just to be clear on the issuance of the order of conditions, will you be requiring us to have the amended plans in-house before we issue those?
Yes, I would definitely, we would file it after the amended plans come in, so I need those ASAP.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So we would definitely need amended plans coming in. I'm not sure what you decided about the driveway, if you were gonna extend it with pavers, or what are you gonna be doing?
Yeah, so that was my next question, so thank you for clarifying that. So we'll do the French drain in the back. We were hoping if it's okay to run the entire patio with pavers and leave, I guess, some area in the surrounding fence.
Yep, so the area where you currently have the patio, if you extended the blocks over to kind of continue the driveway, it's not a impermeable surface if
Right.
done correctly.
Right.
We would definitely have to confirm that, and I would want it a part of your plans. So you're
Okay.
not adding more impermeable surface, you're actually just making it look nicer on the top.
Awesome. So sorry.
One last thing, though. I know you guys said you were gonna put stone over it. Is there any way we can kind of convince you to maybe put grass or something that's a little more vegetative back there to kind of soak it up a little bit?
Like the very back, you're saying?
Yeah, right, like just over the French drain and stuff. You said you guys were gonna just spread stone down. I'm sure it'll look nice and I'm sure it'll permeate, water will permeate great. But having some sort of vegetation will hold the soil in place. It'll help with water
In
mitigation.
the area surrounding the French drain?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll definitely help a lot. I would highly advise to do that.
Okay.
It'll hold the soil a little bit better.
And this is just surrounding the French drain, more or less?
Yeah.
Just a little bit?
From the edge of the patio covering down to the fence, it would just hold your dirt in place a little bit better. It would help with sheeting and all of that stuff. So it would help with a lot of things by putting vegetation, not rocks back there.
Okay.
Not a requirement. There's really no performance standard. It's however you want your yard. I get
Yeah,
it, but
yeah.
I'm just recommending.
Okay.
Put something with roots because it'll hold your property a little bit better.
Okay. So that being said, with this update, then I will have to redraft the draft we have right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then we did put the fence line, the asphalt line like you asked. So we have that, we ran the pavers. And then we just have to make that final adjustment on the French drain and then talk to my mom about the grass.
Yeah, I would. See if you can be persuasive. It'll save you in the long run. Rocks move, grass won't. Just saying. Anyways, that being said, and all of the stuff that we've spoken about, any other remaining questions from the commissioners before we close the hearing out? Nope. Okay. Seeing as how your party is the only one in the audience, I don't think we have an opponent, and I'm sure they would love to get up and speak in favor of this project. So at this time, I'd like to call for a motion to close out the hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. All right. So with a few special conditions, I think that this would be good to get this off of our plate, and we'll definitely be keeping a closer eye, and now they know. And for any future projects that you want to do, anything, make sure you see us.
Yep. Absolutely.
So at this time, I'd like to call for a motion to approve the notice of intent for this reconstruction of their backyard.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Second?
All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. So do you have any?
Yes,
One
we can
last?
start to clean out any time, or we have to wait for approve the plans?
No, so your order of conditions is approved as of right now. And we won't file it with the DEP until you provide that amended or updated site plan for us. And that will be the last little hurdle. So the quicker you get that in, the quicker we can file. They will review and then they will issue an order of conditions formally from the DEP, and then you officially, but you can start the excavation and getting those stones, and don't chip any of them up, they're expensive.
We have some pallet right there, I'm gonna just move everything now, then we can start picking up
Yep,
we can start to do that one? or-
yeah, you can start excavating at this point, but if you really want to do it official and do it correctly, you'll wait for your order
I
of
wanna just
conditions
take
to come.
everything out before I start to do the job.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
no, you will have to, and as soon as, like I said, as soon as that all gets done, I want to make sure that I'm there to see it all
Yep. So
cleaned
we're
up
gonna
first.
take out
When everything is
all the
clean.
fill that you don't want, and then we'll stop there and have you come in, and then we'll reset and start over.
Perfect.
Right.
That's exactly what I'd like to see, but thank you guys for your time, and good luck.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everyone.
So we had some site visits today, this past month. It was the Revere High School site, discussion approval of water quality units, which They were no drastic change. It was just a plug and play, and officially I'd like to go on the record in saying that plug and play is good. I will email him tomorrow and make sure that he does that or knows that. So I just want to get it on an official setting before we did that. 9 Dunn Road, I'm happy to close that out. And then the Mills Ave stuff, I think that'll be a great addition to our repertoire for information. Other than that, any open discussion items that you guys would like to discuss? I know we kind of talked about having some subcommittees to address some overarching issues that have been happening, you know, notice of intents after the fact and whatnot, but we'll definitely reconvene. Hopefully the holidays are nice and quiet for everybody, but at this time I'd like to call for, unless you guys have any open business you'd like to discuss, a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.